Okay? So, this one, I didn't come up with this name. I don't know why it's called Jimmy Drill. I'm blaming it on Toma. I'm blaming it on Wally and Casey. I think they took it from Toma and they called it Jimmy Drill and Toma, so it's Jimmy Drill Logan. We've got essentially lanes, okay? We'll have bags down, dividing each lanes. Or you can just throw a jersey down, like a penny down if you want to. You don't want to have the bags there, that works fine. Okay? It's 5 offensive linemen, 5 defensive linemen. This is where I really find the D lineman that can play against the run. Who can get off the block and make a tackle? Who can, while being blocked, still make a tackle? Who can just be a disruptive pain in the ass? You know, the coach will stand behind over here and he'll tell the running back. He'll designate which one of these lanes. Okay, and think American Gladiator, right? You got all these lanes. Okay, he tells him right here. Okay, and the running back's going right there. The O-line can see that. The defense can't. Okay, and if we're running right here, and this D lineman's up against a pretty decent O lineman, and he's making the tackle, I got to find a spot for that kid. Because he just scraped it flat and took somebody's legs out and wrapped them up and made a play, and kids are getting excited. You get to find guys that can play laterally really, really well. And then also guys that play with good pad level and don't get driven. Okay? If all of a sudden these guys get blown off the ball, and we kind of look like, well, we better coach him up a little bit if we're going to use this guy because he can't hang in there against a one-on-one block very well. Similar stuff is that alley drill for the running backs, wide receivers. They're about 10 yards back here with a safety type player or with a linebacker type player. And they're blocking them. They got to rip off. There's also, once they get through those chutes, they have a similar width. They have about 15 yards wide to work with. Sometimes we play around with that. We want it to be a little wider once they get through. You see a little more open field stuff we can. We want to tighten it down a little bit. We do that too. Okay? It's really good for one-on-one position evals. If I want to find out which guy is the best D lineman I got, okay, or if I'm trying to figure out who the last D lineman is that's going to be starting, I'll have a guy in here, and I guess it's a lineman I know pretty good, and okay, beat him. Next time around, tell him this other D lineman to go over here. I'm going to see the same guy in the same matchup from the same situation, and we can just kind of play around. We videotape this, and so in my head I'm like, hey, I'm going to grab this video and we're going to show this drill. I apologize. We cleared it off for storage. It wasn't there. So I tried to go back and see if I could unclear it, and apparently it was too old and I couldn't do that. So I apologize for that. I don't have some of the video that I wanted to have. I knew we had video of Jimmy Drill, and that'll be a good one because you get to see those one-on-one matchups happening, and then the linebackers kind of coming down, scraping through, the safeties coming down, scraping through, making tackles. Last one here for our tone setting drills is our Tennessee 7. This is one, and maybe this is, has anybody ever heard of this drill? Tennessee 7 at all? Okay. It was brand new to me when I came across, and I thought it was cool. All right, it's a very competitive drill. Okay, we've got 10 yards. The offense has 4 plays to get. Okay, and on this one, the offense and defense stays the same for all 4 plays. Then we get brand new guys in everywhere for the next series. Okay, we do them by series, and we make sure the players' backs don't get rolled up on, but we also like our other players to be on the side, hooping and hollering, making sure that they're getting guys jacked. Okay, center, 2 offensive linemen. They don't have to be guards. Helps if it's really a center though. Otherwise, the ball ends up on the ground a lot. We got our quarterback and a running back. We got 2 D linemen and a linebacker or a DB. Okay. Sometimes the linebackers put their hand down and get down in here. That's not the worst thing in the world, especially if you got an O lineman you want to find out is he going to be able to handle a faster D lineman. Put a good athletic linebacker down on the 3-point and have him try to swing it or something. They get 4 plays. Kids get really creative with this, which is what we like to see. They get creative using football, which is awesome when kids can start to take some ownership. They'll start to trap people. You know, that's real cool. Like all of a sudden we're sitting down here and because they like huddle up. They huddle up real quick. They give a snap count, turn around. Usually it's either we're going right or going left. But all of a sudden now they're calling a short track out to each side, and this D lineman's going upfield, he's getting kicked out, the other guy's going down the linebacker, all of a sudden they're off to the races, and the guys are hooping and hollering, using a play that we run. Can't get better than that, right? We're not an option team, but we had a quarterback. He's like, he worked a little bit of scout team. He's like, hey coach, we gotta run some midline outs, can't we? Yeah, and of course the quarterback's pull and run. The quarterback never runs at this drill, really. So he wanted the opportunity to keep the ball himself. And sure enough, the O-lineman went down to second level, and the quarterbacks pulled it out, and the D lineman tackled the running back, and the quarterback's running around, just right around the corner, in a pretty tight window there, scores on the first play, and he's thinking he's, he had the greatest idea in the history of football. So that's kind of cool, all right?
Do you narrow the width of that?
Yes. And I apologize for the way I diagrammed it here. It is not hash to hash. This is about it's about a 15-yard, 10 yards for this. Okay, 10-yard width. Okay, so it's pretty tight. We have our players back at about 15, so they're not sitting right on the edge. Otherwise, somebody gets tackled and goes out of bounds, and they can't back up, and someone's turning an ankle or something. So this is a nice little competitive thing, especially early when we finally get pads on, finally get to do some of those things, and figure out who wants to tackle. And then, in order to try to make sure the young kids aren't getting overwhelmed with something like this, we'll do it for a little bit, and then we'll say, hey, seniors out. This is the seniors' last one. They'll be fighting to make sure they're in that last go, and then they'll get out, and then it's just juniors and sophomores. Okay? And then after a few, juniors are out. Now it's just sophomores. And you get to see kind of who those young kids are that really want to step in, things like that. Within our Fundy Groups, okay, tackle things we do. Some of these are kind of, they're universal, I think. Okay, I think a lot of you do some form of this drill. Okay, I'll go through each one of these individually here. For the D line, we do a flat chase drill a lot. Okay, where we work on one side, we work our double teams, and we work a chase down flat down the line. And then we'll work an Oklahoma drill that's just good for one-on-one competition. So for the flat chase, okay, we can fit the opponent. Again, this is condensed. This is not hash to hash. Okay, we can work versus a power scheme or a zone scheme with cutbacks, depending on what we're going to see that week. I like to make sure we marry up our drills to what we're going to try to turn around and stop. So this is drawn up against a power scheme. Okay, we'll have with a tight end a full line and a pole. Okay, we'll have both our down linemen here. We operate out of it's a 33 base. It can look different depending on where our personnel is at and what who we have, where, and what's available. But generally, we're in a 0 and 2 4s. Those guys can move, but again, we're not overly complicated because we don't want the thinking to take over here from the football play. Our two guys we work in their funny stuff that we work with, splitting double teams or getting down if they're getting driven. Okay, and and the guy on the backside who if we have a slant on or something like that is going to get in that back hip pocket of the guard, get flat down the line so he's not getting upfield. Okay, try not to have these guys ever get upfield and remove themselves from the play. We don't want to ever see that. If we see one of these down three guys operating more than 2 yards, 3 yards in the backfield, on a pass rush, obviously you got to get going, but any kind of run play, how many times have we seen this where maybe we'll call a slant, we're slanting strong or something like that. They're running power right into the teeth of it, and this guy should have a free run in the backfield, at least be able to make it bounce wide and it goes up here. The play goes right by him. Trying to get that. They don't believe until it happens. We want to see them make the play, and as soon as they go flat and make the play, then it's we're reinforcing that reinforcement. So hopefully the other guys that are standing over here or that are getting ready to do the drill see that we got really excited about this kid doing it correctly, and hopefully they try to copy that. We rotate linemen through on that one. This is obviously more D-line drill. The Oklahoma one we run, everybody has a version of this, I think. Okay, we start the linebacker on their back. Okay, this is kind of it's D-line and linebackers together when we do this. We'll start the ball carrier on their back for the ball. These two guys being 3-point, it gives them just a little bit of delay time, so So there's opportunity for we actually see the one-on-one matchup between the O lineman and the D lineman. Pretty narrow space. We'll put the finis down either side. On this, something like this, we're not going to obviously have like 3 guys working at once. We're going to have multiple. Okay, we'll kind of set these up, space these out so they're not running into each other. We'll have another one here and another one here. We do about 5 or 6 of them at once. Get the kids rotated through. Have them hopefully not having too much where you have a really big kid carrying the ball. I don't know why. It slows everything down and it's not going to happen too much. I don't really want, if we've got a kid that's 270 pounds, as much as he loves the idea of him doing this, I don't really want him being that running back too often. The last thing I would want is maybe one of our undersized linebackers to kind of steamroll back huge kid. So